Hi everyone, this is Coco and my name is Kiki. If you are new to my channel, I normally share Tibetan recipe videos. So this video is going to be slightly different. It's going to be an unboxing video of lots of Tibetan gifts that I received from overseas from my family. So if that's something that you are interested in, please stick around. And if you're interested in Tibetan cooking, cuisine, culinary heritage, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. What you see here, the first gift I received is a traditional bowl that one would drink percha, Tibetan butter tea, and I don't know if you can see the details. It's very, very pretty. See? And it comes with a lid like this. I remember this is how my late Popola used to drink percha. Of course, if you go to a Tibetan home, you are likely not going to be served in a traditional bowl like this. But it is custom that if you visit a Tibetan home, that you would probably be served a lot of percha, which is Tibetan butter tea, or ngamu, changamu, which is sweet milk tea. And the custom goes where the host will, pour some, and then the guest goes lame, lame, and then sujati lame, lame. You kind of go back and forth, and ultimately the guest accepts. But the custom is that you always leave the cup filled. So don't be surprised if you go to Tibetan home and your host repeatedly tries to refill your cup of tea. But I think these are really, really beautiful. The next gift I received is related to food as well. These are traditional bowls to eat tsampa in. You can also get them in wooden form, made of wood, but this is not made of wood. But yeah, tsampa, for those unfamiliar, again, is Tibetan roasted barley, superfood to the West these days, and an ancient staple food for Tibetans. And we eat tsampa, roasted barley flour, in a couple of ways. One being we call it Changu, where we eat it like a cereal or porridge form. And the other being pa, which is, you mix all the tsampa with the ingredients, and then you kind of shape it with your fist like this in cookie dough form as far as the consistency and texture of pie is concerned. And you would eat it, and then you would have it with your percha like that. Anyway, if you haven't tried tsampa or percha, very unique food to the Tibetans, you must try. It's quite an experience. Speaking of percha, I know for some of you, for some Tibetans, this may not be very exciting, but as a Tibetan living abroad in the United States especially, these are gifts or food items that you don't easily find in the United States. So for me, yeah, I get very excited about gifts like these. What you see here, do you know what these are? I got 3 of these bricks. These are bricks of Tibetan fermented black tea. Very hard to find in the United States. When I last went to visit Nepal a couple of years ago, I bought, I think, a set of 3. And I used it so sparingly like gold. I have 1 left, so this is perfect timing. So this is what we would use to make percha, Tibetan butter tea. And if you like percha and you don't have access to this, you can use the Lipton brand, Indian brand, Lipton brand of black tea. It's strong karbo, as you would say it in Tibetan. And yeah, I love that brand as an alternative if you don't have access to chapakchung, as we call it in Tibetan. The next gift I received is also related to food. For those of you Tibetans living in India or Nepal or Bhutan, this may not be very exciting either. But yeah, do you know what that is? We call this chuship in Tibetan. They're basically made of milk from a female yak, and they're crumbled, dried, crispy, crunchy. almost a little bit of tartness to it. And we would eat, this is an important ingredient to eat with tsampa, the Tibetan roasted barley, or with a sweet dish we call paksamurgu in Tibetan. Yeah, so one of my Sunday school parents, the Sunday school that we go to, I take my kids to before pandemic happened. Yeah, she shared with me a small bag of chuship that she received a parcel from a family in Tibet. And again, it was one of those ingredients that I use so sparingly. So I am so grateful to receive these 3 bags of chuship. It'll probably last me about maybe a year. I'll definitely be using it for Losar, which is Tibetan New Year, and coming up next month. Here is another gift. Yeah, lots of fond memories attached to this. If you are a Tibetan that grew up in India or Nepal, you probably had one of these lying around at your home. So like I was telling you earlier, as far as the customs go, if you visit a Tibetan home, you will likely be served either some kind of tea, whether it's puja or Changamo, sweet milk tea. But it's also quite common to find a basket of snacks to serve to a guest. It usually includes like candies or a variety of nuts and so on. Growing up, my late Momala, who was from Lhasa, the capital of Tibet, she used to have a bunch of these. I grew up with my Momala in Darjeeling for a few years, and she used to make a lot of pale. Fun fact, Tibetan cuisine includes a lot of different types of flatbread. So she used to make a lot of different pale, gungu pale, tinshi pale, and she would store in these little baskets. So I absolutely love it. It's definitely nostalgia for me. See? And I will probably be using it to store bhaji. Bhaji in it. I like eating bhaji. Bhaji, by the way, is beaten rice or flattened, also known as flattened rice. I like to soak that in sweet milk tea, changamo, and then have it that way. So yeah, we'll definitely be using this for losar too. Speaking of losar, ta-da! Do you know what that is? This is the head of a sheep, an ornamental head of a sheep. This is made of porcelain. The Tibetan New Year, Losar, which is next month, by the way, there are certain customs that are followed during Tibetan New Year. And one of them, specifically, we call it derka, which is like an altar, a special altar that we set up, which includes all these items that are unique to a derka for a losar. And one of those items include the head of a sheep. Well, I'm in Oregon, and most Tibetans these days, in diaspora especially, don't put live heads of sheep. So a one made from porcelain is going to be perfect for my derka this year. So I'm very excited to have this. My next gift that I received from my mom and dad, actually no, this is not from my mom and dad. This gift is from my auntie, who is, I think must be in the 80s, probably one of the most amazing cooks I've met. And she's still so healthy and active for being 80 something years old. Anyway, if you follow me on social media, you know that I love to eat. I love a good home cooked meal, and I love to cook Tibetan food in particular. And one of the common ingredients in Tibetan cooking, and even in my cooking, is this. Did you guess what that is? We call it erma in Tibetan, or Nepalese would call it timur, or in English you'd call it Sichuan peppercorn. Now you do get these ingredients at the Asian markets here, but I find that the potency is just not the same. So I'm so grateful that my aunt sent me 3 bags of this. And next gift I received is this beautiful, beautiful tumbler. You see that? So pretty, right? This is a traditional tumbler that one would put to store chang in. Chang basically means fermented Tibetan rice wine, and it is cooked or consumed in two ways. One being in liquid form, very much like sake. So yeah, that would be it. And we would make it during special occasions like Losar, Tibetan New Year, which is coming up, or weddings and so on. But the second form that is actually, I find it very unique to the Tibetan culture is, we call it Changu in Tibetan. Basically, it's fermented rice wine that is eaten in porridge form. So actually in the very early morning of the first day of Losar, growing up, probably many Tibetans can relate to this. As kids, we would be served warm bowls of changu, and that would be the first dish that most kids and adults would eat on the first day of Losar. And then we would go back to sleep for a couple more hours before we wake up again. Now, in hindsight, as an adult and someone living in the United States, people would probably raise eyebrows if you serve fermented rice wine or anything like that. But anyway, it was our custom, and I can assure you I'm no alcoholic. I think I turned out quite normal. But yeah, it's a custom that we had. My kids, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you look at it, do not enjoy changu, which blows my mind because I absolutely as a kid and even now as an adult, I absolutely love changu. And actually, I'll be making a recipe video soon since Losar is coming up on how to make changu really easily. Very, very delicious, warm. And we would eat it with pungu amjo, which is like one of the type of kapses, and use it as a spoon and slurp it up. And the next gift I received, if you're a Tibetan, you might be aware of this. But anyway, in recent years, it seems this has become more popular. Basically, it's an instant form of puja, Tibetan butter tea. You can now get it in instant packets. Looks like each bag comes with about 20 packets each. So I have about 40 servings of instant puja. Should I feel lazy to make puja from scratch? Honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of these, but it really is a very convenient alternative to have if you're feeling lazy to make puja or don't have the ingredients readily available to make it. So, told you my gifts are not your typical gifts with luxury items and so on. These are all related to food or traditional Tibetan culture. I think, as you get older, and then with me having kids that were born here and then that also have Tibetans, I feel like for me these are physical reminders. They serve as physical reminders in my home. Even though I wasn't born in Tibet for obvious reasons, many Tibetans like me are not born in Tibet. Even though I wasn't born in Tibet, I feel like I have had a lot stronger immersive experience as a Tibet, because there were such large Tibetan communities in India and Nepal in particular. But for my kids, it's not the same, they're half Tibetans and they're born here. So all these little things I feel in our ecosystem at home, I like to have physical reminders of who their mom is, her roots, aka me, where I come from, and so on. So yeah, I absolutely appreciate these little things that I kind of took for granted growing up. So anyway, all right, no more food items. Moving on to traditional wear. I'm in my PJs, by the way. Anyway, isn't that so pretty? This magenta colored traditional coat. My auntie actually bought this as a gift for me. She had it custom made. And I absolutely love it. And you know what's odd is that personality wise, I tend to be in the quiet, introverted side. But color choices, I love bright and bold colors. I find colors so uplifting. So if you follow me on social media, you may notice that my color selection of clothes are usually, yellow and lavender and pink. Anyway, I was worried this wouldn't fit me because, it was tailor-made back in Nepal. And there's actually a cool story with this. But anyway, it looks like it fits me, right? What do you think? And it has pockets. Who doesn't like pockets, right? I absolutely love it. See, the gold trims, the magenta. This is in raw silk. And then so warm. You see the pay inside, the wool. I really like it. Oops, this way. But cool story. So I follow this page on Instagram. It's a Tibetan chupa, Tibetan traditional dress shop called Amala Store. Anyway, I follow them on Instagram, and coincidentally, my auntie, who made this coat for me, she had it made at that store. So I thought that was pretty cool that the stars were in alignment, that she made it at the very shop that I have been following on Instagram. So anyway, I'm a last store and my auntie, thank you so much. Here is another gift I received. I'm not sure whether this is from my aunt or from my parents, but take a look at that. How cool is that? So did you guess what this is if you're not a Tibetan? Cool fun fact. Tibetan traditional wear, especially for women, includes a lot of head accessories that are not so commonplace in the diaspora. But anyway, depending on which region of Tibet you are from, the head accessories, especially for women, can vary greatly in style. So this is just one of those styles. It is unique to the region that my dad is from. So anyway, it's the first bejeweled head accessory. I believe we call it batu in Tibetan, if I'm not mistaken. If you're a Tibetan, let me know if I got that right or wrong, but I'm pretty sure we call it batu. And my mom was like, why do you want something like this? Because usually it's the momolas, the grandmas that wear this. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I think it's so beautiful. And while I obviously won't be wearing it every day, I definitely plan on wearing it for Losar. And maybe, yeah, pass it down to my kids when I'm gone. So it'll be one of those physical reminders, right? I think they're absolutely beautiful. Um, and the last item, last but not least, is a chupa set. Chupa is Tibetan traditional wear. If you look online, most of the Tibetan chupa that you will see is representation or representative of a particular region in Tibet, the mainstream one, Utsang or Lhasa, capital of Tibet, which is what most of my chupas are. Most of the chupas that I own are from that region. So this is the first time I am owning a different. These are traditional boots that one would wear under our chupa. This is obviously styled for women. Look at that, it's embroidered. This would be the first pair of boots I own. And I was really nervous because, with sizing differences between overseas and here. Oh, that's my dog. This is what always happens when I try to record recipe videos for YouTube. It's always my dog's barking or my kids calling me. It's nonstop. But anyway, yeah, so I'm really excited because look at that. It fits me perfectly. I was so worried it wouldn't fit me. But this gift, yeah, is for my mom and dad. I definitely plan on wearing it during Losar. Yeah, I definitely plan on wearing it during Losar. The ironic part is, of course, with the pandemic going on, Losar is going to be at home. But this year, this Losar, I will have a new chupas set to wear, a new jacket, and a new patu, and new boots. So I'll definitely be rocking Losar in style at home this year. So I hope you enjoyed the unboxing video. That was a lot of talking that I did. So thank you for listening to me ramble on. I'm not much of a talker in general, so this is, yeah, a lot of talking. But anyway, thank you for listening to me ramble on, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And I'm very curious to know which one was your favorite gift out of all the gifts that I received from my family. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, please do give a thumbs up. And if you like Tibetan recipes, do subscribe to my Tibetan cooking channel. You take care. Bye-bye.